Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? I hope that you're getting some respite from the full moon and eclipse energies of this week, particularly for, well, today in Australia it's June the 16th. And in other parts of the world, you're getting very close to that date. So I hope that we're all taking good care of ourselves and stepping back from those news cycles when they are starting to really irritate us, worry us, concern us, cost us sleep. The best counsel is to step back. And tune in instead to something like nature or your immediate environment or your loved ones, or your own self-care, whatever you need to tune in to do so if this is becoming a little bit too much. And also I'm going to remind you all that there is more to life than continually being I guess in that news loop or in that news cycle. I've had a very restful morning. I've been deliberately resting this week, trying to recover and recoup my energies. So we've been through a particularly busy, demanding time over the last couple of weeks here in our household, and we're all taking good care of ourselves. So let's get to the SDNY Inauguration Committee investigation, I think. I do have this article from the New York Times. It's dated July the 11th, so it's not so old. It talks about the 10 federal criminal investigations into either Trump, the Inauguration Committee, his family, his foundation, his business, etc. 8 state and local investigations, and of course the 11 congressional investigations. So at any time, any one of these investigations there could be breaking news coming out from them. We also had, let's not forget, David Pecker cooperating with Robert Mueller. David Pecker, formerly with the National Enquirer, and of course we know his connection with Trump. We had Trump's chief financial officer, Alan Weisselman, also cooperating with Mueller. Now, all of these investigations are ongoing, and the article in the New York Times, I'll see if I can put a link in, is a very good record of what's still out there. We also need to remember that we've got Roger Stone's trial, and we've got possible investigations still into to Manafort. So there's a lot going on, and at any time, Manafort, who didn't or wasn't cooperating, could start to cooperate. Roger Stone could start to cooperate. There's been breaking news around WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who apparently, according to CNN Breaking News, was receiving multiple packages and multiple visits from various nefarious people while he was at the embassy in London, the Ecuadorian embassy in London. So it appears, according to CNN, that they're going to allege, or they're alleging, that Assange was cooperating with the Russians on the leak, the WikiLeaks release during the campaign into Hillary Clinton's emails. So he's always denied that, and of course now there appears to be footage, etc., and evidence that he actually was aligned with the Russians during that time. As I said, though, he does deny that. So we've got all of this unfolding, as well as the Jeffrey Epstein matter, which could take down many people that may have used, may have been involved with Epstein and his sex trafficking business, I would call it, service, whatever you like to call it. So that brings me to Donald Trump's dreadful racial comments this week. and while he is race baiting and he's playing to his base, and he's also seeking to divide Democratic voters as well by siding with Pelosi against the more progressive Democrats. It's a divide and conquer strategy. It's also a diversionary strategy as well. So without further ado, let's get on. I'm just going to take one of these investigations. I'm going to take the federal criminal investigations into the Trump Inaugural Committee donations and spending, and possible ties to foreign countries. Now, before we all start to panic and think that William Barr might quash these investigations, there is also a state investigation into the Inaugurational Committee as well. So that's where I'm going to go. Let's have a look at this. The SDNY Trump Inaugural Committee investigation. Where is it at? What's happening with it? Are we likely to hear something on it? Is there some kind of bombshell news coming down the pike that we need to be aware of? The SDNY Inauguration Committee investigation. What's happening with it? Okay. All right, so we've got defence. We've got the Seven of Wands here, suggesting, of course, that there could be a back and forth here with the lawyers. I'm just going to go to the state investigation as well. The New Jersey Attorney General is investigating contributions to Trump Inaugural Committee, and the District of Columbia is also investigating the role of Trump's children and businesses in Trump's inauguration. So you can see that with these federal and these state investigations, Trump's lawyers are very, very busy, and this could be one of the reasons why he's being so vindictive, because if you can imagine, the amount of investigations that he's defending, that his legal teams are defending, as well as the congressional investigations, it's no wonder that he really can't, at times, and I'll say, can't really even speak straight. So we've got the signifier card as someone, multiple things coming at this person and having to fend things off and defend. Now we're just talking about the Inauguration Committee investigation, a handoff investigation that Mueller handed off during his investigation. So we've got the Ten of Cups, which is interesting. This is really, this is what the challenge is. This could be, this could be the citizens of all those state jurisdictions. This sometimes comes forward as my card for the American family, the American voter. It's almost like America versus Trump, and that's what he's trying to fend off. All of this, of course, is, you don't investigate someone who's innocent. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. There is an evidence trail here that has led to the inception of these investigations. So what is an investigation? You're trying to get to the truth. Okay, so we've got insecurity as the foundation of the reading, money insecurity, financial insecurity. Let's keep going. All right, we've got the crisis of faith here with the Moon card, suggesting that there are, whatever is going on could lie very much beneath the surface. The reason that we haven't heard anything is because just even getting the evidence, just even getting the responses from Trump's legal teams, etc., following the various money trials, all of that is taking time. It's interesting. What's uppermost in the sky, or what's uppermost in relation to this question, what could be a potential future here, is the Eight of Wands. And you can see all of these wands flying through the air, almost like an arrow or arrows that are seeking to find their mark. I do believe these are the investigations. There is just so many of them. And they're all involving money, and they're all making Trump feel extremely insecure. What's in the immediate future? Interesting. The Ace of Wands. This is a plan. This is an inspired project. This is fire energy coming through here, including and linking with the Eight of Wands. What does fire do? It burns clean, doesn't it? That's also a new investigation as well. Could be signaling a new phase of the investigation, perhaps. Right now, though, we've got the Hanged Man. Now, this is suggesting that there is some kind of stalling here. And this could be around, as I said, with that Seven of Wands there, which is a defensive card. It could be that the investigators are having a difficult time actually getting the evidence, and we've seen these kind of tactics in the congressional investigations as well. It's like an obstruction, it's seeking to put obstacles in the way of these investigations. Look, we've got the courts, so again, there could be subpoenas. Going back and forth here to try and get this evidence, I think. Subpoenas to banks, subpoenas in relation to Trump's business, tax returns, etc. It seems that things have stalled as the evidence, as the investigators are trying to work their way through to get that evidence. In the hopes and fears, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. This, of course, is financial security, financial insecurity. And look, this card can go anywhere. One of the, I guess, salient points about the SDNY investigation is that it's partially into it involves Trump's children as well. The role, particularly at the state level, the role of Trump's children and businesses in the Trump inauguration. So, of course, I'm going straight to Ivanka because she played a lead role in that investigation. Page of Wands. Okay, so we've got this inspirational energy here. I feel coming out of the state investigation in relation to the inauguration. There's a lot of inspiration there, but the investigation is still not. It needs to mature in some way. It has gotten started. There is certainly a lot of, drive and will to pursue this investigation, but we've only got a page here. Let's have a look. Okay, I feel that the difficulty that is being presented to them in just getting the evidence is really, it could be causing hold-ups. We've got the Knight of Wands suggesting that there's certainly movement and action, but of course this horse hasn't quite got out of the starting gates yet. So it's like my feeling or my intuition is that they've got some evidence, but in order to take the investigation further, they've really got to be gathering additional. They've got to be following the investigative trails, and there seems to be with this Hanged Man, there seems to be some roadblocks being put in their way. It's interesting with these two cards that have come forward with the Queen of Pentacles in the fear position and the foundation of the reading, the financial insecurity. And what's hidden from our view is the Six of Wands, which is victory. It's tying into this fire energy here that we're seeing in these in the Eight of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Six of Wands. So it's almost like this is not going to go away. This investigation's not going away anytime soon. I'm just going to draw a clarifier card on that Queen of Pentacles. My feeling is going to Ivanka Trump, and I'm just going to get some clarity on that. Ivanka Trump, the Queen of Pentacles. Who is this Queen of Pentacles? Is the president fearing for the children, his children's involvement in the inauguration. Is this Ivanka Trump, this Queen of Pentacles? Is this Ivanka Trump? Can we have some clarity, please, on the Queen of Pentacles? Okay, so we've got some cards that have just jumped out. We've got expansion and commerce. Oh, sorry, we've got the Six of Wands. So we've got the victory card again. Okay, I think this is pointing to the inauguration here. All right. Okay, and we've got the Sword of Truth, suggesting that there is some truth to come out here. And we've got the Hierophant again coming out. Okay, that could also be in relation. In this deck, this Hierophant is masked, suggesting and has someone chained. When I put that with the victory card, what I see here and the Sword of Truth, I see here that perhaps there's the victory of the election, of course. There is some truth to come out. But I'm getting that government weighing heavily into this as well. So I'm going to pull some clarity on the Hierophant card and also the Moon card, the secrets, the things being hidden from us, needing to come out. There's an energy there of things being kept away, kept in the dark. It could be that the government in some way, I mean, Trump is the president, even though I'm guessing his own personal lawyers would be defending this. They certainly would obviously perhaps be tic-tacking with the government lawyers. It could be the government lawyers throwing roadblocks in this investigation. And that could be the story, the next breaking story that we've got, that these state or even federal investigations are being hamstrung in a way. So let's get some clarity on the Hierophant. Let's get some clarity on the Hierophant card. Is this the government? Is this obstacles, lawyers, legal teams, White House legal teams, etc., Trump Organization legal teams, putting roadblocks in front of the investigators? Is this a legal minefield here that is really stopping the investigators from really proceeding too quickly? Oops, okay, so something, all right, yeah, there is a restriction card here with the Eight of Swords, suggesting, yes, my feeling is correct, the Hangman, the Hierophant, lawyers, White House lawyers, Trump's lawyers, etc., even the Congress, who is also, I think, investigating this matter, being restricted. Okay, so that is why the progress is slow here. Let's have a look at, okay, all right. I was just going to clarify the Moon card, and we got the Moon card as the clarifier, suggesting that why is the go slow on here? That's what I'm going to clarify again with these double Moon cards. Why is there so many blocks being put in the way of investigators? Let's have a look. Why are there so many roadblocks put in the way of investigators? The Moon card. Clarity on the Moon, please. Clarity on the Moon. Roadblocks, secrets, trying to keep things hidden. Why are there so many roadblocks? Okay. We've got the Three of Wands, which is actually very much like the victory card here. That's commerce and expansion. What are the secrets to be revealed? There's something around commerce and expansion. Some more clarity, please. Why did the Three of Wands, commerce and expansion? Is this profiteering? Are we talking about profiteering here? Profiteering. Okay, excuse me, something has just fallen down. Okay. Okay, the Nine of Cups, abundance. This is in some decks, the wishes being granted. It's almost like, wow, look what we've got here. The Nine of Cups. It's also a yes card as well. Let's further clarity on the Three of Wands, the Moon card. Further clarity on the Moon card. What's hidden from our view? What's hidden from our view? What's hidden from our view? Okay, so we've got a set of 3 cards falling out here. we've certainly got a plan in relation to the moon card that could be going back to 2016. We certainly, and there's also an immaturity about this page as well. We've got the Lovers card suggesting pacts, collaborations, partnerships, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles. This is around a reevaluation. What are we talking about? Reevaluation of policy here. So I feel that that's the crux of the matter in relation to this moon card. I feel that what it's telling us is that this was what we have always thought, my intuitive impressions around money being exchanged for various policy agenda shifts, etc. And we saw that there was an immaturity or really not knowing what they were doing. But this same card has come up in the outcome card. So what that leads me further clarity on is that this could be reflected in the conditions of the time back in 2016-17. It's been said in the past that Trump, including by the UK ambassador, had no idea about government at all. And so we have somebody here that is used to have been doing business in the way the Trump organisation has, come in and see allegedly financial opportunities in the inauguration. And so they've gone forward, and particularly Ivanka, winning was the victory was fresh in their mind. The victory was uppermost in their mind. Did they really think? Did they think about what they were doing? Now, in relation to the investigators, are they going to be successful? Let's have a clarity, please, on this. We've got the moon card. It seems to be some money exchanging hands. Let's get some clarity on the Six of Wands. So we've had some clarity on the moon card. Let's have some clarity. Why is this victory the thing that is hidden from our view? Was this the 2016 victory? Was this the 2016 victory? We've got our page of wands coming out at us again. So yes, I'm feeling that is a validation of that. All right, so it's been said Trump didn't expect to win. They were shocked when they did. They had not really transitioned to government. They'd come straight from the business world. And we've got all these investigations now, state and federal level, around the Inauguration Fund. So the Inauguration Committee and potential irregularities and possible breaking of law there. While I was shuffling, I was wanting to know whether this investigation would be victorious. We've got the Page of Swords again, just a page. It's terribly, terribly frustrating, isn't it? All right, are we going to hear something on SDNY? Because I went there for a reason. We're going to hear about possible obstacles and challenges being put in the way here. Or are we going to have some breaking news? When are we going to hear about the SDNY investigation? SDNY, when are we going to hear about that soon? Or any of the Mueller handoff investigations? Are we likely to hear back about them, whether it's this one or another, anytime soon? Are we about to hear? We're about to get some breaking news here on these handed off investigations. Okay, so we've got justice. So I'm hearing, I'm feeling that we might. Let me just come back up here. So my question was: are we likely to hear anything soon on the inauguration investigation, or indeed any of the handed off Mueller investigations? We've got justice coming here. And then we've got the ending card. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. We've got the Eight of Cups suggesting a loss, someone walking away. And we've got deals being made. Okay, so we're going to hear something soon. I want to know if, so I'll put all these cards away. I want to know if Barr is going to interfere in any way with them. Some people have asked me, have some of these investigations been closed down? Not to my knowledge. I did watch the lawyer on YouTube, Elizabeth, I can't remember her last name. She talked about some of the dockets when they're in the process of investigating. They will create multiple docket entries for the court in the courts, and as the investigations mature, they don't need all of them. It's just really to kind of get things or lodge things in the court. Well, some of those dockets in the Mueller investigation have been closed off, so there's been some confusion about what whether the investigations have been impacted by William Barr taking over as Attorney General. So not that I know of. I did have a search before I started this, and I couldn't find anything on it. If any of you viewers have any concrete, legitimate media sources that tell us that Barr has been interfering with these handed off Mueller investigations, please let me know. But right now, I'm just going to ask: has William Barr been interfering? Has William Barr interfered with any of these Mueller investigations, handed off investigations? William Barr, has he interfered in any way with these handed off investigations? We've got the Page of Pentacles. That's interesting because that can be both a let me just get back there. That can be both news, financial news. It's not a huge matter, but there could have been something go out in some way, a very not a huge and significant matter, but something. Let's have a look. Challenged by the strength of the evidence. So even if he has in some way moved to try and interfere, he's being challenged by the strength and endurance of the evidence. Okay, but we've got this Page of Wands here as the foundation of the reading. It's only a page, suggesting it's almost they're up against, the head of the Department of Justice. We've got the High Priestess in the background, suggesting there are things that are still yet to be revealed from the past. Queen of Swords. Okay, that could be the Attorney General in SDNY. Letitia James. That could be Letitia James. Work. Yeah, this is coming to the Inauguration Committee investigation, which was where I went. The environment around has been created as an environment where the truth has to come out. It's because the strength of the evidence is there that will, that really stops Barr from coming in and overtly interfering. The hopes here that things will come forward quickly. And for Trump and Barr and everyone involved, the hope that that they can stop this or stall this, because we do have the Magician here as the outcome card, and I'm afraid that is Barr. We've also got lost though, this Eight of Cups, walking away, and again another loss here. Okay, so this could be. Because there are two lost cards clarifying the Magician card, pardon me, and because of this challenge in the Strength card, it could be that something is so strong that William Barr is unable to interfere. What's hidden from our view is judgment. This is a necessary judgment. This is an ending of something, but an ending that had to occur. So I'm feeling quite strongly that if he is trying to interfere, he won't be able to get too far. And of course, that was Mueller. That was Mueller that set that up. He realised what could happen by if there were federal investigations that could be tampered with. he handed off matters to the states, and that's what Barr cannot interfere in. So I'm feeling that I was drawn to read on this today because there could be something coming forward in relation to these investigations, simply a status report or simply about the obstacles that are being put in investigators' way. So I'm just going to ask one final question. The Inauguration Committee. The Inauguration Committee investigation, like a web, I'm feeling tentacles going out everywhere. This is an international money trail that has to be followed. This is a trail that actually involves Trump's children. So I'm going to just ask that, because if we get some clarification or validation on that, then we can see that these investigations are actually gaining strength and momentum. So will Ivanka Trump be caught up in this inauguration investigation? Is Ivanka Trump caught up in this inauguration investigation? Ivanka Trump, is she caught up in this inauguration investigation? Is she in legal jeopardy? Legal peril. Ivanka Trump, legal peril. Okay, so what have we... Yeah, look, we've got something here. Something here. So, it could be that there is a move to try and protect, to juggle manipulation, balls, in the air, decisions that need to be made. Okay, that's interesting. And we've got the world here, the world card, beginnings and endings and cycles moving forward, so that, ultimately this investigation is going to be to release, we're going to hear more about it. We're going to have some information on it. And obviously there's going to be some charges. You can't stall forever. You can't obstruct forever. The King of Wands in the background, or in the past, we've, this could be the lawyers here that we're talking about. The Page of Cups, that's interesting. Surprise news is a possible potential immediate future here. Also an offer that has been made. Queen of Swords again, Letitia James. This is where I'm going to. Moolah, the work of Moolah. The Chariot, these cards are coming back again. Things moving quite quickly. The Magician, obviously in the hope position here again. And we've got loss and walking away. The Knight of Wands coming back into the frame. So, and the Sword of Truth. Okay. What's hidden from our view is reevaluation or management of a situation. Okay, so what I'm feeling here in the background, out of our sight, the Inauguration Committee investigation, the investigations into the Trump Organization, etc., the Trump children. This is what this reading picked up on. This is again adds another perspective to this page. We've got 2 pages here. I feel that there has been obstacles and challenges put in the way of this investigation, but unfortunately it will continue. The investigation will continue. It will have an outcome, and it's suggestive of loss. The Magician appearing in the hopes and fears position, and remember he was clarified by loss cards. I feel that the hope was the Magician could get in here and control the situation, but unfortunately the strength of the evidence is too great. So anything that is attempted will not work. Even the obstacles, the obstruction, I'm not talking criminal obstruction, I'm talking about just obstruction in its general sense, legal, the lawyers back and forth. Eventually it's not going to work. It looks like the Trump children are in peril, that there is loss for Trump. There is some kind of sword of justice here. And really, this is the card that I always get for Trump. And I've done many readings that show that eventually he will walk away. Now, one of the other readings that I wanted to do today, but I won't, I'll leave it for later on in the week. California it has passed some legislation. It's still yet to be signed by the governor to demand demand the tax returns of the presidential candidates in 2020. There is an urgency clause on that legislation, which means that it would go into effect before by 2020. There are 25 other states that are moving this way as well, though none of that legislation has been passed that I know of. However, it's been passed in California, and the governor is, I think, yet to sign. So if if he does sign this legislation, if these other 25 states move toward it, what that would mean is that Trump would not be on the ballot paper unless he released his tax returns. Now, this hasn't been tested in the high courts yet, and so I think this is why we've got this delay here, or it hasn't been tested in the courts yet. So that's one to watch. That's one to watch. But I honestly don't think it will even be necessary to hold, by 2020, I'm feeling Donald Trump will be gone. By 2020, I'm feeling that there will be an offer for him to go. And you've seen these readings. There's so many investigations between now and 2020 that are likely to come forward. And let's not... Now, Trump is being briefed by his legal team. Let's not forget that any of these, this race baiting that was seen this week, let's not forget that some of that is diversionary as well. 10 federal criminal investigations, 8 state and local investigations, and 11 congressional investigations. Any one of those investigations we could be hearing about in the New York Times tomorrow. The next day, or sometime this week, or next week, or next month. So let's not forget that when we get a little bit frustrated with what's going on, and we feel that that he seems to keep on keeping on, and in the UK we might have another Trumpster in Boris Johnson. In Australia, we've got our own Prime Minister, talking about how much he admires Trump, which, I'm trying hard not to gag, for the gag reflex to kick in here. When we get, I guess, a little bit down, we need to remember that all these investigations are going on, and we're moving through a cycle where, we are exposing, obviously, corruption. So in the meantime, if it gets too much, go outside. And on that note, I'm just going to pull 3 messages from Spirit. For those that are doing it tough this week, we've got our full moon eclipse in Capricorn. And, the energies are pretty heavy, I must say, pretty heavy. So let's have a look at some good advice for you. You've listened to the reading. You've checked out your trusted light workers and tarot readers and psychics. You know what you know. You've taken action. You've phoned your member, your congressional member. You've joined a march, donated to the ACLU. Is it does wonderful work in your country? Various organisations in Australia, similar organisations here, do wonderful work. You've done what you needed. You're not apathetic. You haven't switched off, because you know what happens in the dark. Democracy dies in the darkness. So you've done all you can. Now you're turning to self-care. What can my viewers do this week, Spirit? Messages from Spirit for my viewers, particularly those that are worried or concerned about Trump and other world conditions. What can they do? Messages from Spirit. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, make sure this is the Temperance card, the Angel of Balance. Make sure that you've got balance here. Don't spend 6 hours listening to the news. Digest it. mid-morning or at some point in the day, and then switch off and go about your business. Be patient. Be patient. This is, really, I guess, a message here to remember that even though it is, looks pretty bleak, you don't know what seeds are growing there in the background. And some introspection as well. I feel that the Hermit card here, this is around reflection. This is a good thing to do this week. I feel that we're almost going to, bunker down in a way and do that reflection. But understand that there is success here. There is success here to come. This is the Ace of Swords. So what's hidden from our view is the light. Go outdoors. We are moving to illumination. That was the message of the reading that I did for you this week. Let's not forget that what we're overturning here is, I would say, one of the worst scenarios for in a democracy is what is unfolding in the US at the moment. One of the worst case scenarios. Okay, but just remember that we've got illumination occurring all the time in relation to this, and do what you can, really to find that, be patient and find that balance. But also understand that, we've got the sword of truth digging away all the time. Okay, thank you very much for tuning into the reading.